started as some questions, and now it's reached a point of almost insanity.
You know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies.
You think about a United States senator who has to go out with the local police to look for drones. That's where a United States senator is getting information. We had a briefing from the state police, the colonel in the state police. He was frustrated. He had no idea where these drones are coming from. Not only did I call for a limited state of emergency and the FAA shutting down the airspace for drones, but also having the Department of Defense come in and answer questions. If the Department of Defense doesn't know where the origins are for these so-called drones, then we're in trouble. We always thought that if there was something in the air the size of a car, that the Department of Defense would know where it came from, what its origin was, and what its purpose was. You know, I have a general belief in government, but this is taking me to the end of my belief that government is really being honest. Now, there's been some apparently top secret briefings, right, with Congress people. Now, they come out of that, and I heard Josh Gottheimer come, the representative, and he said, well, I'm not getting a lot of information, but I don't think it's a... So my guess is there is information, but they're holding it back. And now what you have is panic. Originally some questions, now you have serious concerns, and at the next point, somebody's gonna do something stupid. So the Department of Defense has to come clean with the American public.
More drone sightings were reported just outside LaGuardia Airport.
I'm getting multiple calls for drones. I have about 5 to 10 drones hovering LaGuardia.
And still, no one knows who launched them.
So what's going on? Is this some contagious mass hysteria? Or are people really seeing something that our government cannot identify? Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing, but what was I seeing?
We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there.
One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, you know, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted the state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
Can I see one right here?
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either.
What's your message to the White House?
My message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe they'll have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
The Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, to me, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need the answers, frankly.
launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones.
Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
Can I see one right here?
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either.
What's your message to the White House?
Our message: come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see, and then, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
Can I see one right here?
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either.
20 years ago, they filmed War of the Worlds on Staten Island. And now, we feel like we're characters in that movie. What is happening is outrageous.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim says he went out with the state police last night and personally observed 5 to 7 lights in the sky. Maryland's former Governor Larry Hogan says, "Last night, I personally witnessed and videoed what appeared to be dozens of large drones in the sky above my residence in Davidsonville, Maryland, 25 miles from our nation's capital. I observed the activity for approximately 45 minutes.
Last night, former Maryland Governor Larry Hogan says he captured this video appearing to show dozens of large drones hovering over his home. The same evening, U.S. Senator Andy Kim says he saw this over a reservoir while out drone hunting with local police.
Some appear to hover or at least seem to be in position.
All right, well, Aaron, you are in New Jersey. You've seen a number of aircraft tonight.
That's right, Lester. In the last half hour, we've seen a number of what appear to be drones, all flying erratically with flashing lights.
And on the other hand, if they're not drones, what could they be? And on the other hand, if they're not drones, what could they be? And on the other hand, if they're not drones, what could they be?
Elbit Systems presents the Hermes 450 Unmanned Aircraft System. At the base of the Hermes 450 unmanned aircraft system is the air vehicle, a tactical, long-endurance, multi-payload UAV. The Hermes 450 is a robust, versatile airframe equipped with an advanced and highly efficient power plant. Fully redundant flight computers, avionics, and power supplies contribute to its record-breaking reliability. The Hermes 450 air vehicle can carry a wide variety of multiple internal and external payloads. Since becoming operational in the IDF in the mid-1990s, Hermes Family Systems logged more than 300,000 operational flight hours in more than 40,000 successful combat missions for various forces around the globe. Based on decades of Israeli UAS operational expertise, the Hermes 450 is the most versatile and reliable unmanned aircraft platform in the world. But reliability and versatility are just one side of the equation. The Hermes ground control station provides the other half of this winning formula. With dual mission capability, each air vehicle is assigned to a single operator. The Hermes ground control station is characterized by an intuitive, mission-centric design with a high level of automation. The operator can navigate the UAV and point the payload by simply dragging and dropping their on-screen icons. By selecting the flyby camera mode, the operator essentially slaves the air vehicle to the payload. While the operator manipulates the payload, the system autonomously adjusts the air vehicle flight profile to allow optimal observation, freeing the operator to focus on the video. With advanced flight automation and an embedded mission trainer, no piloting skills are required, and operator training is fast and cost-effective. A typical UAS mission is comprised of numerous and complex tasks. The Hermes 450 high level of automation and intuitive operational concept enables the operator to focus on the most crucial tasks and delegate all other tasks to the system's automatic controls. The Hermes 450 UAS from Elbit Systems. Versatile, intuitive, effective.
Holy cow. That thing is completely stationary shooting.
All right, so we logically look at this, it's shooting down. It's not shooting at the atmosphere. So if it was shooting at an object, it would definitely not be going that way. So now we're about to answer some more questions here in a few, looking at this clip and footage, because apparently people are freaking out on social media. When you go to join Base McGuire Dix Lakenhurst's actual calendar for December 2024, and you look at the date right there, so you see what date it is. And today's date, let's just be accurate here, is the 13th, but it was the 12th. Both days has moderate noise, and it says 50 caliber weapons, rocket fire, rotary cannons are going to be happening on that day. So when we look back at the events that was taking place, we're potentially seeing them shoot that off. And let's look further into this though. It says here, this is the guy who is military, says it's just military training. It's normal. We all have to train all the time. It's kind of our job. Take care of gear, go to the field, take care of gear, go to the field. These guys are in the field.
And on the other hand, if they're not drones, what could they be?
When you go to join Base McGuire Dick's Lakenhurst actual calendar for December 2024, and you look at the date right there, so you see what date it is. And today's date, let's just be accurate here, is the 13th, but it was the 12th. Both days has moderate noise, and it says 50 caliber weapons, rocket fire, rotary cannons are going to be happening on that day. So when we look back at the events that was taking place, we're potentially seeing them shoot that off. And let's look further into this though. It says here, this is the guy who is military. It says it's just military training. It's normal. We all have to train all the time. It's kind of our job. Take care of gear, go to the field. Take care of gear, go to the field. These guys are in the field. We have information, video, all the details lining up. What are the drones doing? Are they zapping? And also it is other objects up there. A military guy confirms it who actually worked on the drones as well. So we got that detail coming up. What we're potentially seeing though here is a starting kicking phase that John DeSouza talked about, how this will be the introduction to how they start ramping up the fear. So now we're going to move into all these different videos here right now for you to see. Check out this first video. So that was a car in New Jersey, and it's not just cars in New Jersey. It's as far as ATL, there has been a notice that came out that confirmed what I was believing this to be, electronic interference. Let's check out this second video clip though to let you see deeper into this story before we dive down and then talk about what's happening with planes in multiple areas. Check this out.
Okay, legit, I had to like pull over and like pull this back up because I thought maybe it's a car party, right? There's a bunch of like those weird looking Tesla vehicles over there, and I thought maybe it's like a car club. They're just all meeting up, and it's a Thursday night. I just want to show you, but there's no one over there. There's not a body, there's not a person. Like if it was a car club, those are pretty common around Atlanta. Look at this. I'm gonna zoom in just so but the video that I heard was, it was like this girl who was saying like, have you seen any of like the lights flickering or anything like that? And then there was a guy in Jersey who was like, yeah, my apartment car, I mean my like house lights, I'm sorry, my house lights have been going off and like.
I literally have a document telling us what this is about, linking into Project Bluebeam. Now check it out. This plane right here crashed not too many days ago. Check it out. They said, well, it just fell out of the sky. There was a situation where, it crashed down. Oh, it just randomly crashed. And then another plane just randomly crashed too. So the plane you just seen was in New York. And this is another plane that crashed apparently in the Texas area. We have both of these planes crash. They went down. This is a sign of electronic interference, but what makes it even more confirmed, we looked into deeper evidence of what they said today. They came out with a bulletin and they said this. They've ordered the fire department to stay clear of crashed drones. December 13, 2024. What does it say? Down or landed drones should not be approached. Establish isolation, evacuation distance in all directions initially. What does it say? Be aware that electronic devices and two-way radio systems may malfunction in the immediate area. This is 1000% evidence of electronic interference. But what makes that more interesting is in Project Bluebeam, they said they were going to use electronic interference and they were going to start hijacking our radios and start hijacking our cell phones and then project the global Project Bluebeam operation. Let's actually just show you what I clipped into this so you can see it. Then we'll get into what this military guy said who knows about the drones and worked on them.
Now we exposed the previous steps in other videos that you have to see after this, but step 4. Guess what else? The 4th step concerns universal supernatural manifestation. Electronic means the NASA Bluebeam project. It contains 3 different orientations. One is to make mankind believe that an alien off-world invasion is about to occur at every major city on Earth in order to provoke each nation to use its nuclear weapons in order to strike back. This way, the United Nations Court will require that all those nations which launch nuclear weapons to disarm when the invasion is shown to have been false. And how will the United Nations know that the invasion was false? They will have staged it, of course. This is the situation that is occurring, and this is what they need for the global control mechanism. This is the 3rd orientation. This 4th step is a mixture of electronic and supernatural forces. The waves used at time will allow supernatural force to travel through optic fibers, coaxial cables, electric and phone lines in order to penetrate to everyone at once. Through a major appliance, embedded chips will already be in place. The goal is to deal with the global ghosts projected all around the world in order to push all populations to the edge of hysteria and madness.
So to make us hysteric is the plan, but listen to the next thing that I found out. It's also been another crash. We got dispatch audio. They're lying about it. Electronic interference is 1000% happening. But this military guy actually confirms what we thought was happening, even at a deeper level. Check out what he says here.
I'm making this video because I have figured out what the drone situation is. I was in the Army, active duty. I worked on drones. I was a maintenance NCO for some surveillance drones. And before that, I worked on the Apache, the Kiowa. I know aviation. So what people are not noticing is that you have 2 separate types of drones and 2 separate types of things in the air right now. First off, the drones that you see with flight lights or anti-collision lights or the things that the FAA requires, those are drones that are probably operated by the United States government. Now, the orbs that you've been seeing on the internet, that is the reason why all those drones are up there. And that is also why the government isn't telling you what's going on. And that's because the drones that you see that look like regular aircraft, those drones are up there to get some information on the actual orbs, which are actually the UFOs.
So what he just confirmed to me that Project Bluebeam is a go. And who is operating these UAPs? Because obviously we have seen the glowing ones as well. Who is operating those? Well, that goes back to what John DeSouza was telling us about these aerospace companies. And I want you to listen to this really quick. Then we're going to get into this drone thing that's being covered up is it crashed inside of somebody's backyard, and they're trying to say, oh, it was a toy. But on the dispatch, it doesn't sound like it was a toy. Let's let you listen to John DeSouza about who's flying them and the companies that funded these different ships and stuff to get us all in the shock and awe, like the CIA said. He said we needed the shock and awe. Right now we're in shock and awe. And the zapping of planes down, that is what he was saying, that technically we're going to let you listen to him and then talk about a little bit more of this.
It does appear that our global aerospace companies probably had several hands in creating these things. And he's talking about McDonnell Douglas, Raytheon, and several other companies that really don't consider themselves American. They're actually global companies. And he said, it looks like those guys had some kind of hand in creating these UAPs, but it appears they are not under the control of the United States or any other nation. And that's all he said. And it was amazing when he said that, because it really leads to several other conclusions that, well, then who's controlling them? And it appears that the ones who are controlling them are the deep state, which is not an American organization. The deep state, the cabal, the Illuminati, the power that is over nations appears to be controlling them, and that fits in perfectly with them eventually building up this campaign of fear in the nations, which is what they're doing right now, to make people fear these UAPs. Ultimately, towards, and I'll tell you, the next step, it's a little difficult to hear, but the next step, because they need to keep building up the fear of these UAPs. Next step is really for the UAPs to start shooting down our commercial airliners and our military jets from the sky.
So check it out. They don't have to shoot them down with freaking like pow, 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 or like laser weapons. We've seen them shoot a laser off at the base over here by New Jersey, New Egypt. So check it out. What they're doing is they're electronically interfering with them, and they're doing it to the vehicles, and they're doing it to radios, and there's so many videos out of this right now that I'm telling you. That's how they do it. It's invisible airwaves that electronically are now operationally. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you one more other thing about a potential radar person who put out something, talks of Space Force being involved. But this backyard crash situation that just happened, really strange how they try to say it was just, oh no, it was just a little toy one. They had to send in hazmat. They brought them in, and apparently they say, oh, we need the bomb squad and stuff like that. Make sure the bomb squad comes in every time this happens. The reason why I think they want the fire department to back off is because they don't really want none of the information getting through fire departments. So they've told them, hey, clear the scene. We'll have our special teams come in. We'll deal with this. We don't want this story to be pushed out any further. Check out what just happened, though. Right here in this video clip, we got the dispatch audio where they say it was just one drone that crashed. And then next thing you know, dispatch is saying it was like multiple other ones coming right after that. Check it out, though. Here it is right here. I just put the clip on.
Thanks. County for 85. What was the exact call that this wasn't actually saw it crash or heard it crash?
For the caller, a drone fell out of the sky by the power lines behind their house. And then 10 more showed up.
So they were by power lines when they came out of the sky. Somebody could have electronically shot a wave at them and then brought it down. So again, this is part of the electronic means of the first, this is step 4 of Project Bluebeam. And the documented details exposed that we were talking about. Now this last part, you can take it, and here's the area though. My bad, I forgot to show you the area. This was in New Jersey, Morris Township area. I don't even know how to say the word, so I'm not going to say it. And it says drone down in backyard, bomb squad, CSI being requested. So they literally are now moving into these phases. So check this out. The last part though, I want you to take with a grain of salt. We knew these times was coming. All of us knew these times were coming. We were prepared for this. We knew it. And now they're only showing us the steps so we can break down each piece of them, because we've been studying this for so freaking long. Apparently also some of these craft maybe potentially looking for missiles not to be launched, because during this World War III phase, they want to try to launch some. So apparently our government may potentially be hovering over these to try to stop some of those operations from happening. But take this last piece with a grain of salt. We don't know if this is confirmed or not, but this was put out recently. Everything else is confirmed, but this part, take it with a grain of salt. Check this out. All right, so it says radar guy here. I know who's operating drones, 25-year radar operator for a major agency here. Just thought I'd let you all know what's been going on these past few weeks. The drones are part of a military drill being conducted by Space Force. Everything is on a need-to-know basis, which is why there's so much confusion. He said he knew something that was coming as well, and he says he knows that there are additional full lockout drills. They are scheduled to take place between now and Christmas Eve. These operations involve a full turnover of all radio, radar, and aircraft communications to the military for several hours at a time. In conjunction with that, there are also scheduled satellite launches off the books, which have been occurring since October. They are setting up some kind of a big show for the public very soon. CNN was even at our facility shooting pre-roll footage for a future story. I don't know exactly what is going on, but all I know is get ready, and it says prepare your families and stuff like that. Now, I told you some of the crashes that CNN and all the rest of them, they were going to do a pre-staging story, and that's why we can't see some of the crashes that's happening. Now, the planes, they're going to just say, oh, it's a plane, electronic interference going down. Makes sense why they locked the airspace off in New Jersey when it first initially happened, because they didn't want a bunch of planes being down and stuff like that. So this makes 100% certain fact that they know electronic interference is happening, and they've publicly came out and actually said that in their intelligence bulletin that we put in this video. This is highly important. Be safe, get the message out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll have a lot more coming, and even more into the story we put on the left-hand side. You'll see the video after this is over. Are drones shooting now? That's the question. And then we're also seeing biological drops and stuff like that. And I think they're hyping us up for a next pandemic, because I've seen them talking about bird flu. So this is going to spiral into a lot of different things. But let's just pray, prepare, and stay strong and stay connected.